what happened? Why did you perform so poorly against Arsenal? And why didn't you back up all your cringy talks? Now I have to use the word cringy because to me it was unnecessary. I didn't expect that from a club like Real Madrid. You get
I think I think you're actually just saying cringy because you like Arsenal fans, a lot of them got worried. It is normal to talk big for your
no,
team
this
because
this
it
one,
is not
this particular one is not
it
normal.
wasn't. Okay,
You're be,
why?
you're
Why do you
Let me
think this
ask you.
particular
Let
one
me
was
ask
different?
you.
Make it,
You've
can you
been
please explain why you
Yes,
think this one was
you've been
different or more
supporting Real
explain it?
Madrid. You've been supporting Real Madrid for a
Yeah,
while. Have you ever seen
yeah.
this
Yes,
type of
every
noise?
match, yes, every match, that is how it is. That's what I'm saying. I think the problem
You
is
don't think
Arsenal
you
has
don't you,
actually
you don't think
no,
this noise was
sorry,
different? You don't think this
no, it
particular noise
wasn't
was
at all.
different? You don't think so?
No, it wasn't. The thing is, Arsenal actually has never experienced this, and I will be categorically sure and factual to say that the win against Real Madrid is Arsenal's biggest win at the Emirates in the history of
For
Emirates.
sure.
So it is Arsenal that has never experienced this that is thinking that this is cringy.
Okay.
But this is exactly how Real Madrid did it against Wolfsburg. Ronaldo literally said after the 2-0 defeat
Yeah.
that we will come back, that at the Bernabeu we will come back,
So
and he
It's Real Madrid's
delivered.
way.
So it is, thank you. It is the
Okay.
Real Madrid way. It is what we have always believed, even right down to when Vinicius scored that goal. I still, in short, from the beginning of the way the match went through, when after Saka missed the penalty,
Yeah.
I actually believed at that point that we could pull a comeback. Even though pre-match I predicted an Arsenal win,
Yeah.
a 2-1 win. I actually got a correct score prediction, but I when Saka missed the penalty, I was like, okay, maybe it might be one of those nights. That's the drama we talk about at the Bernabeu. So the difference is Arsenal has never experienced this. That's why they think it's cringy. Every match, before every game, Vinicius posts the same thing he posts. He says the same thing he says. Jude Bellingham says it, and if you listen to his pre-match conference, he was like, the fans have been the one pushing the remontada, and it has now entered them, and now they believe in themselves. They're believing in themselves. That he knows it's going to be a hard match. So it was nothing. It was no way disrespectful to Arsenal. It was about Real Madrid, and they did what they had to do,
Mm.
but they fell short, and they
Okay.
fell short for the same reason that they've been falling short this season against top teams. So I'm not really surprised, losing 5-1 to Arsenal on aggregate. It was almost the same thing as playing against Barcelona in one single game this same season with the same mistakes that Real Madrid, not mistakes, balance. It's about balance. The team is not balanced. You have Lucas Vasquez that's a converted
Winger.
winger playing as a right back, and he was actually one of the best performers of the performance.
Okay.
He had one of the best
Before we go
performances in the first half.
before we talk about the way you played, I have to establish this. Real Madrid has such a powerful team because I've never seen a fan base so worried like the Arsenal fan base when you are 3-0 up. And
Oh,
experts, even Mika Richards on CBS before the game, Thierry asked him, are you okay?
hey,
And it was like, bro, I'm nervous. And that just made me realize, whoa, imagine Atletico Madrid fans, imagine what they go through every time. So Real Madrid, yes, of course, they've got that aura. So they are up there. They are bullies. They know how to bully teams. That's why they don't play well and they find a way to get results. But let's be realistic now. The Arsenal fan is just keeping quiet for now. We'll get to you in a moment. From your perspective as a Real Madrid fan, you talked about Real Madrid not having a balance. Left to me, I think right now Real Madrid should get rid of the Fly Emirates sponsors and have New Balance as a sponsor because you guys need a balance. You've got a proper lack of balance in your team. It's like square pegged in a round hole situation. Rodrigo performed so poorly, and a lot of people have said he's not that good. I don't think Rodrigo is not that good. I think he's quality, but it's about finding the right balance. The system didn't suit his abilities. I know he could have. Some people were saying the forward they have to, press harder, run more. Sometimes it's not about running. You can just run like a headless
it's not,
chicken, and
exactly.
just run in vain. But there's a proper lack of balance. That front three doesn't really work well for me. And also, you look at Bellingham, the way he's playing. He's supposed to be someone who goes into the box, but the system
And
is not
Ancelotti
working
didn't
well.
do any of
So
that. Yeah.
I'll give you the floor now. Tell me tactically what went wrong for Real Madrid and what should be addressed to improve things.
So first of all, say like the complaint they've had throughout the season is that from the beginning of this season, I kept on saying that there's no balance to the team. When we go back to the season that Man City trashed Real Madrid 4-0, you can compare it exactly to this same season because it was almost the same thing. You had three tired legs with Modric, Tony and Kase, and KDB, all the runs he made behind them, they couldn't track back. Now you had in the first game against Arsenal, you had a 39-year-old Modric playing in a three-man midfield with Kamavinga, and you're expecting Modric to track back all the time, playing against top midfielders like Declan Rice and Odegaard. So the same problem I've been complaining about from the beginning of the season, the same problem we still have. It's about balance. When Ancelotti's team has always performed, the season we won the first Champions League, that's in 2021, 2022, he had he had Valverde playing as a right winger. So he could give the team balance in defending, support Carvajal. Then Benzema and Vinicius' duo, they were fantastic because Benzema is a ball holding player and he knows how to dominate the box. That was actually his best season dominating the box. And you have Vinicius, the runner who can spread and go wide. But the problem now is that, first of all, Kylian Mbappe does not even have the box presence. He does not want to stay in there. He wants to be part of the play. And you're coming into a team that Vinicius' strength has always been performing on the left wing, but now you have Kylian Mbappe almost every time on that same wing, trying to build up play. And when he does that, Mbappe, it does not allow Vinicius, to bust out in pace, do what he has to do. Because a lot of time when he does that, he might end up losing the ball, right? But when you see an opening for Kylian Mbappe, you have to consider passing the ball. So I don't know if you were aware, but when Kylian Mbappe was stopped after the injury, that was actually when Vinicius Junior became more explosive. He
Yeah,
started making the runs and putting in more crosses. Because why? You had Hendrik, the striker, who was there, who actually had one of those opportunities, but he couldn't bury it. And we missed the presence of Joselu. We lost Joselu and we lost Tony Cruz that retired.
yeah,
And we lost Nacho. Even if you don't want to admit it, he
yeah.
has
That's
been one of the
true.
most important
A good
utility
leader
players.
too.
And he has been a good leader. And he started in most of those matches, and including the final. We lost Nacho, and guess what? We replaced Joselu with Wu, an 18-year-old Hendrick. So about it, the experience that he has not had in the Spanish football and this level of play, is still that was still one of the reasons why you saw him missing that chance, that opportunity. Because he's a left-footed player, but he wasn't a little bit more calm. So it just shows you that the team lacks balance. And the problem is when a team lacks balance, and as a fan, you can see it, then the problem becomes the coach's problem because if you are seeing it as a fan, he should be seeing it and he doesn't want to identify the problem. Jude has been underused this season, and yet he already has double figure goals and double assists, but he has still been underused. He hasn't played, he hasn't been allowed to, get into the box a lot of times. Beginning of this season, it was a problem until Ancelotti had to say, no, I'm not using Jude properly. And he did that, then Jude started performing better. Then all of a sudden, I think one of the reasons too is when we lost Ceballos. Like I said, I was hoping yesterday he was going to go with Ceballos and Chouameni as two holding midfielders, then having Jude ahead of them. So that way you can have Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo fall back to support, even if Mbappe doesn't do it. But one, at least, two of them. But there was that balance is not there in the team. And that has been, the reason why he has been exposed by Arsenal and he got exposed by Man City for the same reason. So um, I respect Ancelotti, but I think, like it's really time for change. Like I said, this actually might be a blessing in disguise.